Today we are going for the sums of fifth chapter. First example, if A, B and C are the 3 points on a line and B lies between A and C as shown in the given figure, then prove that AB plus BC is equal to AC. So here is a line that already mentioned A, B and C. So in diagram it's clear that it's in a straight line and B lies on a line. So it is clear in the given figure that AC coincide with AB plus BC. It means coincide एक जैसा ही है. So AC equal to AB plus BC. So by the exam fourth exam, that is, we know that things that are concoid with one another are equal to one another. जो चीज़ें coincides it mean एक जैसी होती हैं वो equal भी होती हैं. It mean if AC concoid to AB plus BC, so they are equal. It mean AB plus BC is equal to AC. Now see the second sum. Prove that an equilateral triangle can be constructed on any given line segment. So we can construct an equilateral triangle with any line segment. So for this one, firstly from our side we are taking a line segment. So I am going to take a line segment that is 5 centimeter. After that you can give the name to it, that is A, B. Now open your compass till A to B like that, and now draw the semicircle from A like that and from B also, and which cut it at a point, give C name to it and join A to C and B to C. ठीक है. Now we have drawn AB is equal to AC, that is a radius of circle. If we call like that, it's a semicircle. So these like same as it is. So it's also equal, and AB equal to BC also. It's also radius. So if we are going to compare these two, so it mean AC equal to BC. By axiom, which one axiom it's applied? Axiom first, the things which are equal to the same thing are equal to one another. So it mean AB equal to BC equal to AC. So all three sides are equal. It mean ABC is a equilateral triangle, and this one we have to prove. Now see the theorem. Two distinct lines cannot have more than one point in common. Distinct line means two different lines that cannot have more than one common point. It means whenever two distinct lines are met to each other, then definitely they are meeting at only single point. So this one we have to prove here. So firstly we can take two lines. That two lines are L and M. We can draw. It's a L and it's a M, and we have to prove that whenever they are going to meet, they are join at only single point. So firstly we can let L parallel to M. If L parallel to N, it means there is no common point. So there is no common point. ठीक है, to both L and M. ठीक है. Now in this one, if lines are parallel, then there is no common point. So this one case is rejected. Now we can take second case, that L not parallel to M, and if possible, let P and Q be 2 points, where these two lines are met, where these lines are met. ठीक है. So it mean L contain P and Q point and M also contain P and Q. But we know that there is only one line passing through two distinct points P and Q. This one we have done also. From the one point, from 2 points, one line can pass. So there is one line which can pass it from P and Q. It means L equal to M. So दोनों एक ही हो गए. That's also not possible. It's contradict and L and M are distinct line. So it means our supposition is wrong. That one which we have taken कि P or Q they met at 2 points. Our supposition is wrong and they have to met only a single common point. Now we can go for the exercise 5.1. First one, which of the following statements are true and which are false? Give reason for your answer. We have to tell which is true or false and simultaneously we have to give the reason also. First one, only one line can pass through a single point. So only single point is there. So only one line can pass. No, it's false. So many lines can be pass from a single point like this. Second one, there are infinite number of lines which pass through two distinct points like that. So here can infinite lines can be passed? No, it can be passed only one line by the postulate first we have done. A terminating line can be produced indefinitely on the both sides. Yes, terminating line that can be produced on the both direction indefinitely. If two circles are equal, then their radius are equal. Two circles, they said equal, then their radius is also equal. Yes, it's true. If two circles are equal, then their radius is also equal. In the figure 5.9, AB equal to PQ, and PQ equal to XY. Then AB equal to XY? Yes. By the first axiom, the things which are equal to one then equal to the another one also. So AB equal to PQ, PQ equal to XY. Directly these two are also equal. Next one, you have to define these terms. It means definition you have to write. Third, consider two postulates given below. Given any two distinct points A and B, there exists a third point C which is in the line AB, like it's a, it's a B and it's a C. So definitely it's lie on the line AB, and we can say AB is equal to AC plus BC and it's on a straight line. There exist at least 3 points that are not on the same line. That means if they are not on same line, they can be anywhere. So they are not be in a straight line. Do these postulates contain any undefined term? Are these postulates consist? Do they follow from the Euclid postulate? Explain. Undefined term, many terms we can say like line segment, straight line. And are these postulate consist? Yes, they are consisting the postulate. that first one, that from 2 points we can draw a straight line. Do they follow the Euclid postulate here? In the second one, they are not following the postulate. Now see the next one sum. If a point C lies between 2 points A and B such that AC equal to BC, then prove that AC equal to half AB, explained by the diagram figure. So firstly we can draw a line, and in this one AB and C is the middle point. So they have given AC is equal to BC. Already they have mentioned there. So now what we have to do? We have to prove that AB is half, AC is half of AB. So what to do? So firstly I can add AC on both sides. AC plus AC, and in this one side BC plus AC. And which axiom I have to use? In this one I am going to use second axiom. Second axiom, that if equal is added to equal, then whole is equal. So AC plus AC, that become 2AC, and BC plus AC, that become AB. Okay. Now 2 can shuffle that side by divide. So AC is equal to half AB, and this one we have to prove. Next sum. In the question 4th, point C is called the midpoint of line segment AB. Prove that every line segment has only one midpoint. So now we can use the same diagram, that one, and we have already proved that AC is equal to half AB. So C is midpoint. Okay. This one we have proven this one. So now if C is midpoint, so AC is equal to half AB, and we can let the another point, let D is midpoint. So if D is midpoint, that means AD is equal to half AB. It's a 1 and it's a 2. From 1 to, when we are going to compare, their right hand sides are equal, so left hand side also equal. So AC equal to AD. Is it possible? It's only possible when they are on same point, coincides. It means if C and D are coincides, then it's possible, otherwise no. So if C and D are coincide, it means there is only one midpoint. So every line segment has only one midpoint. Next one, in the figure 5.10, if AC is equal to BD, then prove that AB equal to CD. So firstly we have AC is equal to BD. So AC यहाँ तक, and B from D this one, and BC part is common in both, so we can subtract from both BD minus BC. Okay. So if which axiom we have used? We have used here third axiom, that equal are subtracted from equal, then whole is equal. So AC minus BC, what is left? That is AB. And BD minus BC, what is left? CD. And this one we have to prove. Next one, why is the axiom fifth is the list of Euclid axiom called a universal truth? Fifth axiom is that the whole is greater than part. It's a universal truth. Why? Let's consider an example. We having a line AB, and in this one C is any point. So obviously AC is less than AB. We can write AB greater है AC से. So it means AB is a bigger and AB is a whole and AC is a part. So whole is greater than part. It's a universal truth and it applicable everywhere. Now in the next one, exercise 5.2, how would you rewrite Euclid fifth postulate so that it would be easier to understand? Second one also we can. Does Euclid fifth postulate implies the existence of parallel line? Explain. Yes, fifth one postulate we can consider in our language two lines that are straight and third straight line in bisect that one lines. So in the other language you can say two straight lines are there and third one intersect that one. If their co-interior angle sum is equal to 180, that means that lines are parallel, and if their co-interior angles are not equal to 180, sum is not equal to 180, then that lines are not parallel. So it consisting the parallel concept also. It means if their sum is 180, that means that lines are parallel, and if their sum is less than or more than 180, that means that lines are not parallel. So in easier way you can say कि two lines are there and third one intersect that one, and if their co-interior angle sum is 180, that lines are parallel, otherwise no.